In this video, we are going to talk about how to recognize linear, quadratic, and exponential equations by just looking at tables. I want you to take excellent notes on this, and at the top of that paper that you write, I want you to write the word save, and hold on to this paper. You will need it lots. All right, so here we have a table, and we're trying to figure out if this is linear, quadratic, or exponential. All right, so on the x we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the numbers are going up by 2 all the way. It's the same on every single one of them. The y numbers are also going up by 2. All right, because this is constant and because this is constant, they happen to be the same, but they don't have to be. This could have been +3 or +4, plus whatever. But because it's a constant, this is just a linear graph. It's just a straight line graph on the coordinate. Okay, so when x is 2, y is 5. When x is 4, y is 7, and so forth. Okay? So it's just a straight line graph. All right? All right, here's another table. By the way, it's the same table as if you had done it this way, guys, with the x, y. It's just, they just turned upside down. So this is exactly the same thing. It's just turned a different way. All right, so on the x values are going up by 1. So it's +1 all the way down. So that's constant. Let's look and see if this is constant. To get from 4 to 12, we go +8. To get from 12 to 24, we go +12. To get from 24 to 40, we go +16. And to go from 40 to 60, we go +20. All right, that's not constant. So we know it's not linear. That's the first thing we know right now. It is not linear. All right, well, let's see what it is then. Now what I'd like to have you do is look at the difference between 8 and 12. What is it? It's +4. What is the difference between 12 and 16? It's +4. What is the difference between 16 and 20? It's +4. Now it's consistent. All right, now these are all the same. They're all the same. So here's the rule. When the second, write this down, when the second difference of the y value is the same, then the graph is quadratic. Okay? So you've got a quadratic equation right there. All right, the third example I'm going to show you is another XY chart. However, you're going to notice that I put something else in here, and I'll tell you why in a minute, okay? I put another column in there to show you something. All right, so let's figure out what is the difference in the x values. Well, they're all just +1 again. So now, so far, so good. These are just constant, +1. All right, well, let's look at this. All right, this difference is 6. From 11 to 29 is 18. To get from 29 to 83, you have to go +54. And then to get from 83 to 245, you have to go +162. All right. Now, So we see that they're not the same. Well, then you could try this, the second difference. So from 6 to 18 is positive 12. But from 18 to 54, that's not positive 12. That's way different. Do you see that? So this cannot be linear, and it can't be quadratic. It's not linear, and it's not quadratic. Well, it's got to be something else. All right, so let me show you what we do. All right, so you have to say to yourself, and I have to recognize this because I know my multiplication chart really well. But if you don't, you'll have to use your calculator. How do I get from 6 to 18? Well, it's either plus 12 or it's times 3. So in this case, it happens to be times 3. How do I get from 18 to 54? It's times 3. And how do I get from 54 to 162 again? It's times 3. All right. So in this case, we have what we call an exponential function, equation, whatever. All right, and it looks like this. It's y equals a to the x, and a is the base. And in this case, a is 3. So we call this equation y equals 3 to the x power. Y equals 3 to the x power. Now watch how easy it is to figure out what the rest of the equation is. Okay, so if I go over here and say y equals 3 to the 1, well, how do I get to 5? I have to go plus 2. All right, how about if I say this? Y equals 3 squared plus what? Well, that's 9 plus 2 is 11. How about if I say 3 to the third power? That's 27. Plus 2 is 29. So all the way down, this is going to be this part of the equation, but it's got to be plus 2. So the actual equation is called y equals 3 to the x plus 2. So for exponential equations, you find the first difference, and then it's going to be a multiplication thing. And whatever that multiplication number is, that goes in the A part. That is the A.